Let's start from the beginning. A few days ago, the Singularity released, and with it came a whole new chapter, including Gabriel Soma and a Wesker bug that everyone hates, including me because I love Wesker. But in the player test build, the Singularity had 7 EMP cases that spawned around the map that would take 80 seconds to print, and a survivor could go up to an EMP box and speed it up by 4 times the original default duration. Survivors knew exactly where the EMPs were at all times, and EMPs were extremely overpowered. Luckily, they nerfed it from the PTB to the live servers. They dropped down the number of cases to 5, and it took a default of 90 seconds to print. Now on paper, this is a great change. It lessens the amount of EMPs and makes it easier for the Singularity to use its power. However, me playing yesterday and today, I've come to the conclusion that EMPs are still too powerful. They're way too prevalent and used so often that I feel like every single time I use my power, I'm just completely unable to use my power. Every single time in endgame chat when I say that EMPs are overpowered, even the survivors agree with me. One person even said they need to look into nerfing EMPs. And he was completely right. It's crazy. Some points I felt completely countered. I felt like I was unable to do anything to fight the survivors. They had so much control over the amount of EMPs they had, and it felt like every single second they could have an EMP, they had one. And every time I wanted to slipstream a survivor, I couldn't, because as soon as I did, the EMP would just de-slipstream them. Boom, poof, gone, like nothing. Now listen, I might just sound like a whiny, bitchy guy, but I really think this needs to be looked at again, because every single time I play Singularity, I get so tilted. Sometimes I DC because I don't understand why it's being so counterable. I thought I was just playing bad at most points, but I've come to the realization that it's not me, and it's just the survivors being given a massive amount of counterplay that I can't do anything about. I have a few suggestions that might fix this, but we'll get to that later. My issues with the EMPs are not completely deriving me of the entire chapter. The chapter is awesome. The map visually looks amazing. Gameplay wise is absolute dog shit. But despite my issues with the EMPs, I find the killer to be extremely fun and really well designed. I congratulate Behavior on actually not making a 3-gen killer and making someone that's chase heavy while also having good map control and surveillance, unlike Skull Merchant. The Singularity has a lot going for him. Great chase power, fun to use power, satisfying power, and the list just goes on. He's an extremely fun killer to play, and I'm having a blast. But the EMPs are just simply too strong. I have a few suggestions. Number 1, when a survivor gets hooked on a hook while slipstreamed, the slipstream just gets completely removed. That shouldn't be a feature. I understand, however, they were trying to incentivize camping, but they could have just done it by making you unable to teleport to the survivor. But every time I chase a survivor and they are slipstreamed, they just EMP it off, so we need to deal with the EMPs directly. Another good change I was pondering was making EMP cases take the same amount of time. However, if a survivor interacts with it, it increases by only 2 times instead of 4. Additionally, I think that EMP disabled radius should be decreased. Not drastically, but I feel like it's a reasonable distance. To a reasonable distance that makes it easy to get rid of your slipstream, but harder to get rid of multiple biopods. I'm having a stroke in the same radius. That's the biggest counterplay to the Singularity, destroying multiple biopods in the same radius. One last thing, I believe the Singularity should have some way to disable EMP printing for a certain duration, whether it's downing survivor with an EMP, or the Singularity interacts with an EMP box, they get disabled for 30 seconds. I don't care, but have the Singularity be able to counterplay the counterplay, because the counterplay from the survivors is simply too strong, and the Singularity can't do anything about it. Lastly, being able to de-slipstream multiple survivors with 1 EMP blast seems a little too strong, since if someone slipstreamed and someone else with an EMP comes in, they can just de-slipstream the survivor that's being chased, and you can't use your overclock at all. You can't. If I'm completely tripping balls right now, then everyone in the comment section can come flame me, but EMPs are just too strong, even from the PTB to the live servers. But the killer's amazing. I love him. Visually, he's beautiful. Gameplay wise, he's awesome. It's just, I feel like it's still too strong for survivors for counterplay. And I know all the YouTubers are having the same issue, that counterplay is still too strong for the Singularity. But I digress. Anyways, that's my thoughts on just the killer and the current situation with the EMPs. And I hope it gets resolved and I can start enjoying the killer again, because I'm getting very tilted, and I mean really tilted. But I hope you guys have a nice day, and I hope the good day continues. If you want to go watch any of my other content, they're all listed in the upload section. I know I haven't been uploading for very much because making content for DBD lately has just been boring. But with the new chapter release, I've kind of come back to it, and I hope I can just keep doing it because it can be fun. But yeah, I hope I can get back into it, and hopefully this video does decent. Yeah, that's it. That's all I want to talk about. EMPs. See ya.